Welcome in, everybody. It's Main Street Today time, and one of my favorite people ever, and he's at one of my favorite places ever. It's our new feature, What's New at the Zoo with Jim Bartoo. I mean, the perfect name for a guy that runs the zoo.
Well, I don't know about running the zoo, but yeah, I mean, I have a great job here. That's for sure.
Well, I say that tongue in cheek, running the zoo, because
That's right. Yeah, I'm in charge. I'm in charge.
large and in charge. That's what we do.
That's right.
Well, I'm going to kick things off just to get people in the mood. Let's just talk a little sizzle.
Okay.
If you haven't been to the zoo in a while, it's a perfect place to take your families. It's a perfect place for a date. I'm just going to say, y'all, a date at the zoo would look a lot like this.
Wow. I want to take a nap after that.
I want to go to the zoo after that.
Oh my gosh. Doesn't that look great?
It is. And people don't realize how many activities there are. It's not just looking at animals, but you've got events and activities all the time in amongst the animals. What are some of the new things coming out? What are some of the things that in our new normal of life?
That's right. Well, let's see. We've got some caracal kittens that are up at our veterinary medical center that you should definitely go up and see. They're going to be there through probably through the end of July, and they just get bigger and bigger every day. If you want to see full-grown caracals, we've got them in our animal show, so you can stop by and see that. We've got a pair of Babirusa that are brand new to the zoo. And if you don't know what these are pigs with really funky tusks. They look like tusks. They're actually teeth. They kind of grow up out of their head and curl back towards them. And then they've got these upper teeth that grow right up through their snout. And they're bizarre looking. So we've got those. Those are definitely a couple you can come and see. We have some Melios, which is a type of bird that's in Critter Encounter. Those are brand new that you can come and see as well. So lots of great things to come and see.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Now, when I say date night, you do some very special events at the Nashville Zoo that are for adults, and some that might have a little adult beverage attached to it.
That's right. There's nothing like coming to the zoo after dark and having a drink and walking around and seeing the animals. And we offer that several times throughout the year. We had a spring flamingo back in April that was a huge success. We've got Brew at the Zoo, which oftentimes sells out. It's going to be on June 4th. So people can look forward to that. And then later in July, we have Red, White, and Zoo, which is exactly like Brew at the Zoo, except it's wine instead of beer. And then we have our Sunset Safari, which is kind of our big signature fundraising event. And it's in the evening as well, open bars, 50 or so restaurants that you can walk around and try different samples from. So a beautiful night. And then with that, we bring some of the animals out on the pathways so you can get a little closer look at them. We have different programming throughout the night. Of course, there's entertainment and bands and all kinds of great stuff to come out and do.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What I love too is that you do some early morning things for families. I know that families have had a really rough year because parents became teachers and they didn't want to be.
That's
They
right.
never, they just didn't want to be. So
They
they're
had
looking,
another job. Yeah.
yeah. So they're adding things of enrichment to their kids' lives by coming to the zoo. You have a family package that you can get a zoo membership, and it is the most affordable thing you can do for your kids because there's always enrichment.
That's right. Yeah, it's unlimited zoo visits for an entire year, and we have them at several different levels. So if you're just a single mom or a single dad raising a kid, we've got a package for you. If you just want a simple family pass, we have one of those. If you're the type of family that likes to have a friend of the kid of your child that wants to come with them, we've got a package for that. So we have lots of different options that you can buy for the year. And usually these are priced in a way that pay for themselves in 2 to 3 visits. So if you're planning on coming to the zoo more than once in any given year, the membership really is the way to go for that. And we'll give you $20 off. So just, use promo code SAVE20 and we'll give you $20 off that.
Kind of issue, and I don't know whether someone is mowing outside or has taken down our router, but we just had crazy that just happened. I have never happened.
Okay, so it wasn't me. I was thinking, okay, am I still on or am I not?
Well, I don't know who it was. I don't know what went on, but all of a sudden everything went dark and I went, okay.
We're back.
Now back to that special packages. If you want to bring a friend, that's where we stopped off.
That's right. Yeah, we just have all different kinds of packages for membership, and so you should check it out. It's at NashvilleZoo.org. There's a membership button right at the top. You can go there. You can see all the different packages that we have, and certainly if you have any questions, it's easy to contact us from that page.
Oh, that is so exciting. I love the zoo, and Take a Break with Jake is one of my favorite things on social media because if you follow Jake the zookeeper, that's how I got to meet clouded leopards and possums, and he taught me all these wonderful things, and he brought a turtle to the studio for me, so I was very excited about that.
He's great. Yeah,
turtles poop, he goes, I
think everyone poops. Yeah. Every living thing poops in some way. Yeah.
And zookeepers have an inordinate amount of poop to take care of, and you guys do a whole lot to keep that place amazing. And I wanted to ask you one more thing before we get out of here. It's an important note. Zoos are the most important link for conservation in our world for animal species that are dying.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that. Typically when you come to the zoo, you pay your admission, you come in, you see the animals, you're entertained, and that's great. That's part of the reason why we're there. But most zoos, all accredited zoos in the United States, and by accredited I mean accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, all of them have a mission statement that involves conservation work. We all contribute financially to conservation organizations around the globe. Oftentimes, it's a substantial amount of our operating income goes back towards conservation. And then on top of that, we have people that work in the field, both here in our backyard and around the globe. So we have projects. Right now, We have a Head Start program with alligator snapping turtles, which have disappeared greatly over the past couple of decades. So we're working with Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency to basically raise turtles to the point where they can be healthy in the system and then re-release them back into streams again. And we have hundreds of alligator snapping turtles that we're raising right now. Same thing with hellbenders. And hellbenders, if you don't know what they are, they're giant salamanders. Some people call them snot otters. So, but anyway, these animals are extremely endangered. They're disappearing off the planet, and it's mainly because our rivers are being compromised by pollution, by runoff, by sediments, by different things that are causing some of these animals to not survive. Or in the case of alligator snapping turtles, they were overhunted for years and years for food by people. And so now we're trying to reintroduce those back in. And those are things that are happening right here in Nashville, right here in our own backyard. We're doing a program with the Nashville crayfish that is only found in the Mill Creek watershed and is endangered. And we're trying to help save this animal from disappearing off the planet. But we're also helping clouded leopards, and we're helping giant anteaters in South America, and aardvarks, and all different kinds of animals that are just kind of all over the planet. And then in addition to that, zoos also participate in what's called a species survival plan. And what this is basically a breeding program, a captive breeding program for endangered animals to help keep these animals in and on the planet. Think of it like a giant ark, right? So Noah collected 2 of each animal to save them from being wiped out on the planet from a flood. And in real life, you can't really do that because you need a genetic diversity to be able to grow a healthy population. So think of zoos as kind of a collective ark of animals. And if we're going to breed clouded leopards in captivity for the purpose of someday being able to find a place for them to be safe, a place that isn't being downed by logging or farmland or even poached or hunted, these are a lot of reasons why animals are disappearing off the planet. Then we're going to need to keep them bred and viable in captivity. And to do that, you need to be able to match up animals that have genetic diversity. So the SPP program kind of follows all that, right? And it says, all right, you have these two, this litter born from this mother and this father. If we're going to have them pair up with others, we need to send them over to this zoo in Oakland or Texas or somewhere else. So that's kind of how the SSP program works. It's like a giant captive breeding program that's all kind of followed.
I love the modern day ark.
That's right. That's really what a lot of zoos are doing with a lot of the endangered animals, is they're working on programs to at least know more about these animals, to learn more about these animals, and to breed them and keep them in safety in captive areas. Some of them may never be able to be re-released back into the wild, but that doesn't mean we should let them go from the planet. These animals are valuable.
They are. I saw the sweetest picture on social media, and it was a refuge for the white rhino in Africa, and the 2 remaining white rhinos, and one of these rhino keepers, and he was sleeping with this rhino, and they watched them 24 hours a day, and they spend more time with the rhinos than their own families. And it was this, wow.
Yeah, it was the last. I think that if I'm thinking of the same thing, those are northern white rhinos, and there were only 2 left in the world. One was in a zoo, and the other one was at a sanctuary area in Africa. And the zoo sent the female that was in captivity over to Africa to meet the male in hopes that they would mate and continue their lineage, and that did not happen. They wound up not mating, and I think they're both gone now. But in the process, they were able to collect semen samples and egg samples, and they can freeze those. There hasn't really been a whole lot of successful efforts in long-term programs like that, but this is kind of the last hope with something like that, is put the seeds into the future, and let's hope we can find a way to bring them back and maybe extend that species again.
It's amazing what you do, nashvillezoo.org, and you learn so much when you're there. Go be a part of it. And I say, of all the memberships you can get, it is the least expensive with the most bang for the buck. It really is. Thank you so much for your time, Jim.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you and talk to you soon. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. What's new at the zoo with Jim Bartoo? I love the Nashville Zoo so much. Follow and take a break with Jake. You can find it on YouTube. It's pretty darn fabulous. Hey, we're going to check in with some of the people who are joining us this morning. Elizabeth is here. We love it. Sorry about the caps lock, she says. And then let's see. Mindy Powell Hardy says, hello, Jim. So good to see your face. We love that. Good morning to Wayne, who is watching, and Mark Martin as well. Good morning, Mark. Good to see you. And let's see what you love the Nashville Zoo when you're here in a few weeks. Very good. Well, I always love the Nashville Zoo. Hey, tonight is a very special time at Green Door Gourmet. It's over on the west side of town on River Road. It is their official second community night market. And it starts at 4:00 this afternoon. There's some really cool things happening. Let's just take a look at some of the vendors that you will see at Green Door Gourmet. There's Needle and Thread, Hug a Farmer, which has a brand new t-shirt. I'm going to tell you, it is so cool. You're going to want that. Plow Your Dream, Essie and Olive, Virgin Bay Seafood will be there. They've got food trucks, Alfresco's Pasta, and oh my gosh, Lovin' from the Oven, Roadhouse Barbecue. I mean, AB Seafood, Birdie's Frozen Drinks. Speaking of drinks, during their happy hour from 4 to 7, Green Door Gourmet's Community Night Market is having a 2-for-1 drink special. So if you would like to celebrate with an adult beverage, their happy hour is part of their night market, and they have 2 strawberry pick-in times. 2. Isn't that very cool? And they've got a flower bar pop-up and in honor of their second night market. So again, tonight from 4 until 8, Green Door Gourmet is having their community night market. And if you don't know what it's all about, well, trust me when I tell you, it is so much fun and delicious to boot. Well, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up this weekend. A Cure for Our Friends annual golf tournament. It is part of an organization to help families who are dealing with cystic fibrosis. A Cure for Our Friends, their annual golf tournament is this Saturday at 12 Stones Golf Course. It starts at 1 p.m. And you might not play golf, but did you know that it's not just for golfers? Non-golfers can be part of the silent auction. You can make a donation and be a volunteer. You can run, like I have done in the past at several of my charity golf tournaments, run the beverage cart. They also are in need of silent auction items at Cure for Our Friends. And it's going to start out at 11 o'clock. So it's not too early. Some of those golf tournaments start at 7 in the morning. And if you're like me, you go, that is not going to happen. They've got some NFL players. They were going to have a meet and greet. They're going to have a shotgun start at 1 o'clock. The after party, the silent auction will go on. A Cure for Our Friends is part of an organization that Vera Smith started to help the families of people with cystic fibrosis. And speaking of families who've dealt with the issues with cystic fibrosis, our friend Greg McDougall and his family have more than one child with CF, and in fact, one that lost their life. And in the throes of losing Sean, he wrote this amazing song, and we want to share it right now. He introduced me to the organization, A Cure for Our Friends, and he said, without them, we couldn't do what we do. His new single, Take Care of Superman. Okay, I'm going to warn you. Get your Kleenex.
When you gave me this son, I thought I was Superman. Turns out I'm not so strong. I don't understand how a dad can be so helpless Tried so hard to win this fight. Now his mama's holding him, saying goodbye. As you take him to heaven, Lord, I wish that you could wait. I don't think he should be leaving. He's not finished with the race. I know your ways are perfect, but this is more than I can stand. Lord, please let him stay. He's our little Superman. Standing in your presence, I'll bet he won't believe his eyes at all the peace and wonder. He'll probably ask if he can fly. I can almost see him smiling as you help him understand why he had to run the race he ran. As you take him to heaven, Lord, I wish that you could wait. I don't think he should be leaving. He's not finished with the race. I know your ways are perfect, but this is more than I can stand. Lord, please let him stay. He's our little Superman. You take him to heaven, Lord, please help my faith, 'cause I can't see the perfect in this plan you put in place. All I can do is praise you that he was ever in our hands, and 'cause I know you'll take good care of our little Superman. Only by the blood of Jesus, he's now healed and in your hands. So thank you, Lord, for letting me take care of Superman.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord, is right. A cure for our friends.org for families and friends of people with cystic fibrosis. Well, are you the biggest NASCAR fan in the world? Well, you got a chance to win a family package from all of us here at Main Street Media by going to mainstreetmediatn.com and click on the banner that says biggest NASCAR fan, because the NASCAR Infinity Race is Saturday, June 19th, Father's Day weekend at Nashville Super Speedway.
It's a fun new challenge. It's great to be back.
I've just always enjoyed Concord Racetrack, so I'm glad that we have another one now.
It's a really, really good day for our city and really for our state and for this racetrack.
We've got to get back to a lot of the things that made this sport what race fans love about it, and Nashville is that perfect place, that perfect blend.
We're focused on getting this track ready to meet and exceed the expectations of our fans who deserve to have a Cup Series race here. We'll have an opportunity to do that Father's Day weekend when they come on out here.
It's worth trying to win those free tickets, isn't it? MainStreetMediaTN.com and click on the banner about racing and register for tickets. TEDx Nashville is a place with ideas worth sharing, TED Talks right here in Nashville. They've had to punt and do things a little bit different, but they've got a special program. If you're like me and I literally steep in things that are inspiring, TED Talks that lift me up and teach me things, ideas worth sharing. What are they doing at TEDx Nashville this year? They're talking about resilience.
People everywhere are counting down the days until we can get back to normal. But after a year of lockdowns, trial by fire remote learning, protests and marches for racial justice, and unimaginable loss due to COVID-19, do we have a new normal waiting for us on the other side? Will we be able to meet the challenge? We think so. In a special TEDx Nashville series hosted at different local venues throughout 2021, we want to shine a light on the human instinct to pick up the pieces and push forward. We'll explore and celebrate our relationship with the root of all survival, resilience. How do we find strength when we're up against insurmountable odds? How do we walk back from a suicide plan put into motion? How do we recover and build a bridge after parents reject us? And what comes after we've risen to the occasion and succeeded? These questions are at the heart of the human experience, and they're at the heart of some of our talks this year as we celebrate our connection with the hope, joy, determination, and belonging that keeps us all going. For more information, visit TEDxNashville.com and sign up for our emails for the most up-to-date news about these events and how you can attend.
TEDxNashville.com. I love TED Talks, and I love that Nashville is filled with amazing people with inspiring stories. And we're going to close with one from TEDx featuring a Hall of Fame songwriter named Roger Cook. You're going to hear his story about probably his most iconic song ever that has had such an effect. And it's a song that is pretty timeless because it really is something that we need today. And a song that ended up being one of the world's most recognizable jingles. We're going to tell you to join Roger Cook and me Saturday at 12:30 at 3rd and Lindsley for Backstage Nashville. If you can still get a ticket, backstagenashville.net. Before we leave, we're going to say hello to Brenda Scott, who loves talking about the zoo. And then Elizabeth, thank you for always being part of what we do here. And to Wayne, thank you for being part of our show as well. And I know you have TEDx bookmarked in your browser. So do I. It is very, very cool. I just wanted to tell you that we're going to close with this great story from TEDx. And if you don't know about TEDx, go to TEDxNashville.com and join me this Saturday at 3rd and Lindsley, backstagenashville.net. Be safe, be kind, remember you are loved. Here is Hall of Fame songwriter Roger Cook.
Thank you so much. I feel very honored to be here today. My association with the song Coca-Cola of the Teach the World to Sing was that in 1965 I wrote my very first hit song with a friend of mine called Roger Greenaway. And it's important because that song, which was You Got Your Troubles, I Got Mine, which went, I see that worried look upon your face. You got your troubles, I got mine. And if you're old enough, you might remember that song. Thank you. Well, the fact is, a man called Bill Backer, who worked at McCann Erickson, an advertising agency in New York, who handled the Coca-Cola cans. Bill Backer, who also handled Miller Beer, fell in love with that song, and he loved the way the group sang it. So later that year, he came over to London and wrote some commercials for Coca-Cola with us. And they were just radio spots, and they went out, they were like 58-second spots for radio. and they did pretty damn good. So Bill started a relationship with us, which went on for many years, of writing jingles, 2 or 3 spots of jingles every year. Sometimes we come out in New York, sometimes they come to London. Well, fast forward to 1971, the summer of 1971. It was the period of brotherhood of man, love thy neighbor, no matter what color or creed you are, you know. And Coke decided they wanted something rather anthemic to express how Coca-Cola could bring people together. And they approached Bill Backer, and Bill Backer said, well, I've got this song, which we'd written about a year before, called I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing, which came about because Roger Greenaway and I had written this song called True Love and Apple Pie, which was a real dog. I'm telling you, it was a bad song, but it had one redeeming feature. It had a very pretty melody. And in 1970, Bill Backer, who come up with this idea for a brand new jingle called It's the Real Thing. In the back of your mind, what you're hoping to find is the real thing. To replace the old jingle, which was things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke, which is the one we worked on for years. Anyway, we wrote this jingle, I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing, to this old tune of Roger's and mine. And we got paid our fee, and we thought that was the end of that. Well, like I say, later on in 1971, Coke decided they wanted an anthem. And Bill Backer played in this tune, I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing, and Coca-Cola loved it. And they allocated $100,000 to make a jingle. In those days, there were no video, it had to be filmed. Well, $100,000 in 1971 is like $1 million now. It was a lot of money, so they were very serious. And the camera crew, headed by a man called Harvey Gabor, great name, came over to England. They spent 3 days trying to film it. Well, being England, it rained every bloody day. So Harvey decided they had to move it somewhere where it was guaranteed sunshine. They took the crew to Rome and got a lot of kids from all the embassies there, all different colors and creeds, you know. And they went on the hillside and tried to film it. Guess what? It rained every day. Eventually, they got to film it, all these kids on the hillside grabbing their Coke bottles. And it was very successful, but Harvey had gone $150,000 over budget. The end of the filming, Harvey got the sack. He didn't know then he just cut the best jingle ever, you know, the best commercial filmed ever. But he got the sack, poor devil. I hope he's worked since. Anyway, again, we'd been paid, so there was nothing else to it. The jingle was going out and on TV. Well, it went out on TV in the fall of '71, and immediately there was a huge response. In fact, Coca-Cola and the bottling companies received about 100,000 letters asking where people could buy the tune or the sheet music or whatever. Well, of course, it wasn't available. But a man called Billy Davis, who was in charge of the production of music and jingles, thought, wow. So he went in the studio with a group, I should say, called the Hillsiders, and cut the song and asked Coca-Cola if they minded if it went out as a record. Well, Coke didn't like the idea of it going out as a record. They thought it would tarnish somehow the image of Coca-Cola if we were seen to be making money from Coca-Cola. Or from this particular song. I know, that's rather funny. They said if the songwriters would give the first $80,000 of their income to the UNESCO Children's Fund, then we could go ahead and put a record out. Well, 80,000, you know. I didn't think it was going to earn 20,000. But 80,000 in today's money is about $800,000. It was quite a commitment for the writers. Anyway, the record went out and started jumping up the charts immediately. So Billy Davis went to the group who originally recorded the commercial, they were called the New Seekers, and cut a version with them, and that went out as well. And for the next 2-3 months, these two records vied with each other and they went up the charts, all the way to the top 10, which is something that happens very seldom with one song. Anyway, it was a great success, and I'm glad to say I still have a relationship with Coca-Cola. Well, me and a few friends like Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, Captain Morgan. We still get together socially. And here's that song, anyway. It was written on the ukulele, by the way. Oh, never wash a guitar. I got to sing this song. I went to Washington once, and I got to sing this song for the president of the United Dairy Farmers, and he loved it. I hope you like it as much. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I would like to see the world for once all standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. I would like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love, grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. It's the real thing. Coke is in the back of your mind. Coca-Cola, what you hoping to find? Oh yeah.